Oh my gosh, Trek Geeks is proud to have FanSets as our presenting sponsor. FanSets is the place for amazing pin collectibles with over 500 officially licensed Star Trek pins with new releases every month. Stay tuned for a special discount code that'll be good on your next order over there at fansets.com. Get there, go there now. FanSets, our pins have character.
Tonight on the ABC Sunday night movie. Oh, wait, that is the wrong script entirely. Tonight, we're going to take a look at the latest episode of Starfleet Academy, episode 5. And Dan and I are going to catch up. Good Thursday evening to you, everyone. Bill Smith alongside the Danosaurus Rex himself. Dan, I'm a Maynard Davidson, back for Thursday Night Geeks. Buddy, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Always great to be here. You know, I got to tell you, it's funny, and you probably see me laugh when you start, but I got to redo that impersonation of Arnold because that's just awful.
No, you don't.
Hey, man, it's always great to sit down and say hi and chat with our friends and talk about great things Star Trek. I hope you're doing good. I'm going to start us right off off the bat. I want to make sure that you're doing all right because I know that last week we had to postpone for reasons that we didn't really love. So I just wanted to make sure you're doing all right, my friend.
Well, I'm doing okay. We'll get there in the next segment, and we'll talk about what's going on. But first, Dan, here we are at just a few minutes past the hour. We got to say hi to Ross. Ross is in the house tonight. Of course, Burley is in the house tonight. And of course, thinks I look great in blue. And I do because it accentuates my beautiful blue eyes. No comment, Dan.
What don't you look bad in, my friend? Right?
Yeah, I've got so many answers for that, none of which are suitable for this podcast. Of course, I'm sorry, Mr. Strikey is there.
Crikey.
G'day, mate.
G'day.
G'day. So Dan, we're at the portion of the show where I normally ask you what you're drinking. So Dan, what are you drinking?
Interesting question. It's not
one I get
very often, but I'm going old fashioned this week with. Look at that. I got an old fashioned. See, you got me going in Vegas, buddy. I had never wanted to try them. I wasn't interested in them. They didn't look at all good. They didn't smell good. And then you finally talked me into trying one in Vegas this year, and I have been hooked ever since. And as you know, and as people who listen to the show and watch us know, I will try anything with new flavors. So I've got recipes in my little online recipe book for martinis, and now I've got an old-fashioned section. Tonight I'm going with a chocolate-covered cherry old-fashioned with
Very
cherry
nice.
liqueur and some chocolate bitters. And, dude, it is good stuff. It is really good.
I can believe it is. Originally, I put my question on social media, does bourbon go with ibuprofen? But I decided to go with a glass of rye instead, which I know absolutely does go with ibuprofen. The flavors mesh beautifully. So
Nice.
cheers one and all. We're without Garcia tonight. So if
You
you're
said his
going
name.
no, it's you got to see him. That's how it works. Oh, yeah, but you can drink it anyway. But since we don't have him to show you tonight,
Yes.
you're left to your own devices on whether or not you want to imbibe. So cheers, everybody. Good Thursday.
What we'll have to do for future in times where he's not regaling us with his presence is we'll have to get just like a picture of him, and just every once in a while just go bloop, show it on screen, and then we'll be good.
I could pull up a picture of Garcia from Criminal Minds. Dan, it's Thursday, so Helen is here. We are saved.
Yes, we are saved. We are good. I hope that they have cleaned their car. I saw the picture. It's very
I didn't see it.
But it's great to see everybody. As always, I really look forward to all the people that show up in the chat every Thursday night. That Thursday Night Geeks is streaming live.
Ross informs us that he's drinking an old school drink, a Yoo-Hoo chocolate drink, no alcohol this evening. I'm a little concerned that Yoo-Hoo is still available. Did you buy that new, or did it come off a shelf from 1985 is what I'm wondering.
I have never had a drop of Yoo-Hoo.
Me either. Helen says they have not cleaned their car. It's futile. Only resistance is futile, Helen. I remind you of that.
Yep.
The recent birthday girl, Willow, is in the house. She's not too late. We love you too, Willow. We hope it was a great birthday for you with the beach and the puppers.
Trek Geeks.
I know.
Yeah.
Little Thursday.
Awesome seeing that.
Brad is in the house. Brad, good Thursday, sir. Great to see you. Willow, unfortunately, Garcia is not here tonight, so there won't be any sightings of him. So if you are
here on time, she would have known that.
Well, that's true. But Ross says he bought the Yoo-Hoo from his local grocery store. They're still popular in the South. I'm still not drinking one. Okay. I've never had Bojangles, and I've never had Yoo-Hoo. So I think they're going to take away my North Carolina driver's license.
I don't think I've even never heard of Bojangles. What is that?
Yeah. It's a local fast food place. It's chicken and biscuits. And
okay.
At least this is what I surmise. Jake is in the house. Jake, it's good to see you, buddy.
We got some great folks in here tonight.
Doesn't matter. Garcia will know. He probably will know. Ryan is in the house. Hi, Ryan. Ryan, I'm drinking a nice rye this evening. Not in your honor, but it might as well be since So yeah, first segment, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on the past couple of weeks. That's kind of what Much Ado About Nothing means. Don't worry, we're not going to discuss Shakespeare because that's way over Dan's head. And then in the second half, we're going to talk about episode 5 of Starfleet Academy. There will be spoilers in the discussion. So if you've not seen the Sam episode 5 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, please, you'll want to skip the second half, or you could probably start watching it now. And by the time Dan shuts up, we might get to it. So
speaking of shutting up, before I shut up, speaking of Shakespeare, I should say, because you mentioned Shakespeare.
I did.
I was watching a video today of Sir Ian McKellen was on Colbert at some point. I don't know if it was recent. I don't know if it was just last night, a couple of days ago, or years ago. I don't know. But he was talking regularly, and then he got up and he did 5 minutes of Shakespeare just from in his head. His acting was amazing, as it always is. And I'm sitting there listening. Well, it always is. And I'm thinking Gandalf.
He's Ian McKellen. I mean, of course it's amazing.
And I'm thinking to myself, I have never been able to understand a friggin' thing that Shakespeare is trying to say. I don't understand. It's English, but I don't understand the language. And I know I just stepped on that rake, and that's okay. But, I think you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. And largely it's because you're stupid. Well, see, it's a good thing I'm in control tonight because I got to cut you off before you said another damn thing.
That was a perfect cut too, man. That was great.
I try.
Yes,
so let's talk about what's been going on the last 2 weeks since 3 weeks since we drew nigh upon Thursday night, and last Wednesday, as a lot of the Patreonicals know, I got laid off from my job, unfortunately. This is my 4th layoff since 2009, my 3rd in the last 10 years. And it was completely unexpected. My former company was acquired by a different company. And 2 days before the end of their fiscal year, they laid off 1/3 of my old company. It was a small company, so it came out to about 70 people. Still significant, but that's what I've been going through now. It sucks. It's still early on. This was day 9 of my layoff. So it could be worse. I've already had one interview, and I have a second round interview for that same company tomorrow.
Awesome.
So that's good. But still a lot of questions, still a lot of I don't know what's going on. Luckily, my wife and I are pretty set as far as debt is concerned. Really, the house is all we have, and it's all you can do. Is the best thing we can do is try to get through it. I've started writing a series of articles on LinkedIn called The Layoff Chronicles, that talk about how to get through a layoff, because I feel like I'm an expert at this point. Yes, no, I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm going through. Yeah. Now, I have not been laid off at nearly as long a duration right now as Jake has been. So I can only imagine what this must be like for him and his family. Dan, you and I have been through it a lot. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I went through it, and it was a huge mental health crisis. Last year, you went through it, and it was a real mental health crisis. So I want to say I'm grateful to all the patrons I talked to the other night. On Discord, we had a little, sort of hangout on Thursday night, which I forgot about until you messaged me, and then you didn't attend, and you took a lamb-basting for that, mister.
I'm sure I did, but I was not in a position where I could.
But I want to say that I'm grateful to everybody who helped lift my spirits, and we had a great discussion. And Tuesday night on Discord, we're going to do an episode watch because Ryan has picked a couple of bangers, I'm going to say.
Yes, I saw the notes in Discord, and I'm like, oh, those are good. I do want to say I'm glad that you're doing well, buddy. That's okay. It happens. I mean, I rub off on people, so let's just put it.
But once the restraining order kicks in, you don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. My bad. So I'm very glad that you're doing all right. I gotta say, I was very concerned when I heard when you let me know. And interestingly enough, the day before it happened to you, it happened to 15% of my company.
Yeah.
And thankfully I was not one of them. And then when you told me, I just felt awful because I know what it was like. I gotta say, I am thrilled that you have already had response back. That is great, because I know that it was just pure torture for me when it happened a year ago, and for you 2 years ago.
Yeah. Response from 2 companies, interviews with 1 so far. I want to go back to Jake's comment here. Our good friend Jake. For those of you who don't know Jake was a writer on After Trek with Will Wheaton. And all the great words that Will spoke on that show, many of them were written by Jake. So that's what he says. That's what he means when he said, given where I was laid off from, it was a dream job for a Trekkie, and Jake was in his element. We adore Jake. He's a great friend of Trek Geeks, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for you, brother, because we know that something's got to turn for you soon. We hope so.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it's been so, no, not to throw gas on the fire, but it's just been so hard out there. The market is it's just unbelievable. So when you told me that you had an interview and you've got your second one, I'm like, what? So, yeah.
I did mean the Ready Room. I'm sorry. I called it After Trek. That was the Matt Myra one, which was okay in its own right, but it wasn't Will Wheaton. So,
right.
So apologies to Jake and to all involved. Thank you to our local ombudsperson, Helen, for catching me on that error only 14 minutes in. So so that's what I've been doing. What have you been up to? I mean, you sweated a layoff, you got through it.
Yeah. Sweated a layoff. Work has been very, very busy, stressful, lots going on, all kinds of new good things in terms of what my company does and product, but it just means, I mean, the amount of training that I have lined up is just absolutely asinine. It's like I'm getting a doctorate and I have to get it in a month. So
wow,
it's really, really crazy. But we are now settled in pretty much completely at the new house here in Maine. And as you can see, I got my trophy case behind me. I installed some Govee lights, which they're not a sponsor. We have no affiliation with them whatsoever. But if you ever need smart lights that you will love, check out Govey's lights. That's an amazing light strip. That light strip right there has got like 100 different patterns that I can just tap a click of a button and it does patterns. Like right now it's on Valentine's Day. So it's great. Very easy to install. The only thing I have to do is put a plug in the case so I don't have a extension cord hanging out because my ADHD, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, I know. You should just move an outlet inside the trophy case.
That's what I'm going to do. The problem is if I try to do it right now, which I'm not going to do because I'm not a good carpenter, is if I was going to do it the other day, but then I realized, oh, that's going to drill right into the closet in the adjoining room. And I don't want to have a hole in the closet wall in my wife's office. So
that would be bad.
Hold off on that for now.
That would be bad. Jake, adds a great comment here. He says, there's a Ready Room quote from Melissa Navia that I always think of at times like this, quote, Star Trek isn't there to provide hope when things are good. It gives hope when they're not, end quote. That is, you know what, that is so true.
That is effing perfect.
And I find as a result, I've been watching more Star Trek. So, so I, that is what it is. Of course, I've been watching a lot of Dateline too, and I'm a little concerned.
That's scary. Speaking of that, I saw recently another clip of Paul Giamatti on Colbert, and he talked about that very thing. He said, no matter what, if I'm not having a great day, all I have to do is watch Star Trek and I'm in a good mood. And isn't that cool for a guy who's on Star Trek to be saying that about Star Trek? That's fantastic. So, yeah. We're
going to surprise folks here right now, which show a still image from a discussion we had yesterday. So Dan and I are hosting one of the panels for Trek Talks, of course, Trek Talks 5 coming up March 28th. And Dan, as you mentioned, Paul Giamatti, we want to kind of call out that we will have a pre-recorded conversation with Paul Giamatti. This was the only gap in his schedule where he's not working. So he was so gracious and so kind. So the Trek Geeks will be talking with Paul, and that will be broadcast on March 28th during Trek Talks 5 for the Hollywood Food Coalition. So I can't say enough great things about Paul. You know, if you are wondering, you know, is he really cool? He is cooler than you can believe.
Yeah.
He is, he truly is one of us, and he is as kind-hearted as you might hope he is. He fits the Star Trek ethos and character, and just overall a great nerd.
Absolutely. And we've had the very special privilege of talking to a lot of Star Trek actors and behind the scenes people over the 10 plus years that we've been doing this. And I got to say, that was one of the funnest ones we've ever done.
Yeah.
He was so fun. He was so genuine. He was so down to earth. Like you said, he's a fan like we are. He also happens to be an Academy Award nominee and Golden Globe winner and Emmy winner and Critics' Choice winner, all these things.
Yeah.
But he's a Star Trek fan, and he's a nerd and geeks out like we do. And it was fantastic to talk to him. Can't wait for everybody to see that in about 7 weeks.
Yeah. Math is hard. Math is hard. If you're not able to watch Trek Talks, it will be available on demand, obviously. Mm-hmm. So you can go back and watch it, but it's a great conversation. It's worth it. There's a lot of laughs. Paul is a funny guy.
Yes, he is.
So it really changed my world that day. So Dan, I also want to talk about personal progress. As everybody knows, I've been on Zepbound since last April, the GLP-1 drug.
Yes.
And you read great comments all the time from people all over social media saying, well, I lost X amount and I lost Y amount. And I'm here today to give you a progress update now, 10 months in to my Zepbound treatment. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I am officially down almost 60 full pounds, 58.2 pounds as of this past Sunday. Mm-hmm. I imagine I'll be at 60 by next week or the week after, but a starting weight of 330. And when I weighed in, 271.8. This little blip you see here, uptick, that's the holidays.
Yep, that's allowed.
Everybody responds differently to the holidays. I am no different. So I am presently down. I'm just rounding and calling it 60 pounds and still going.
That's fantastic. It's
Still
also
don't.
fantastic, man. I got to tell you, when you talk about this, it's probably not the most comfortable subject in the world to talk about. But you're out there telling people your journey and how it's being successful. And I commend you for that, because it's important to let people know that you're doing good and that it can be done. And congratulations, man. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Ross brings up a great comment. If you haven't listened to the latest Sci-Fi Sisters, it is fantastic. It's their interview with Karim Diane from Star Trek Starfleet Academy, who plays Jaden Cragg. Fantastic conversation. What a delight he is. So
I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet, but I have a question. His voice is extremely, I don't even know how to describe it on the show. Is he like that? Like in real life on the show?
No.
So check out. He's not.
No,
Okay.
that voice is an affectation. I mean,
Okay.
his voice is not that deep, not that guttural.
Yeah.
So he really is wearing that character and doing an amazing job.
That's great.
I love Jaden Cragg.
Yeah.
He may be one of my favorite Klingons so far. And you know me, I'm a big core guy, but not a big of the rest of the Klingons.
Yeah.
I like who Jaden Cragg is turning out to be.
Yeah.
The path that he's on.
We're talking about episode 5 later, but we haven't really talked about much of the season yet. Episode 4 was fantastic, and that
It was lights out.
Focused on him and some of the things that came out about what's been going on with Kronos in the 800 years in the future. I was like, say what? So it was a great episode, and he is fantastic in the show. Yeah, and the other thing that's good is he's funny. He's got some funny bits in the show, and I really appreciated what he's brought so far.
You know, I think that Star Trek works best when prominent Klingon characters can be used for a tiny laugh here and there. They really were good at that with Worf in the 80s and 90s. They're really doing a great job with it with Jaden Cragg in Starfleet Academy. Everybody has their own moment, right? To sort of lighten the mood or break the tension. And I really appreciate the way it's being done in the series. But so that's neither here nor there. Right. I'm excited. It is a little weird to sort of put my progress on the screen and say, hey, I was weighing 330 pounds when I started this in April. And to look at myself in those, in those photos and in the video from Thursday Night Geeks, like, Burley commented on my sweatshirt. I haven't been able to wear this since I bought it.
Yeah.
And I forgot I had bought it because it was sitting in a drawer,
Yeah.
And I love it. It's fantastic. I wish I'd gotten one in red, but the blue one is fantastic. Go ahead.
When we originally signed on tonight before we went live, I saw it and I thought for a second it was a Patriots sweatshirt. And then I'm like, oh no, those are Deltas on there. I haven't seen you wear that before. So yeah.
Yeah. And so we'll talk about this. We're going to get sports bally here for a couple of minutes, which is going to drive Yvette nuts. That we're going to talk about the Patriots being in the Super Bowl again. It's going to drive half the country nuts, more than half. But the Patriots are in the Super Bowl again, buddy, and it's not Tom Brady. You bored?
Another day. No, yeah, I'm just kidding. I never expected it this quick. So yeah, I'm very excited. We got the whole tradition that we haven't done for quite a while all lined up for this weekend. So yeah,
Super Bowl 60 coming up this weekend on whatever the hell channel it's on. Is it Fox or NBC this year?
It's NBC. I'm pretty
NBC.
Sure. Yeah.
So at least we don't have to put up with Chris. No, we do have to put up with Chris Collinsworth. Damn it.
We do. Yes, we do. Yep. And you know what's funny?
But not Tony Romo.
I was going to say, I don't mind Collinsworth. I don't mind. Yeah. Sometimes he rambles, but I got to tell you, when Romo first started, I couldn't stand him. But he actually has good analysis of plays and stuff, being a former player. And I think he does a hell of a lot better job than Brady.
He just doesn't. Well, it's his second year. Romo doesn't know when to shut up. And that's my problem with him. Plus, what does Romo know about winning the NFC Championship game? Zero. Never did it. Right. Ryan is in chat saying go Seahawks, which I think is going to get him perma-banned from our YouTube channel.
Already has happened.
Ross says, I'm pulling for the refs. They've got this one in the bag. I want everyone to be reminded, the last time the Patriots and the Seahawks played in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks were the overwhelming favorites. The Patriots won on a last-second turnover. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, did you know, Dan, that when the groundhog sees his shadow, the Patriots have won the Super Bowl 5 out of 6 times.
Really? And
Yes,
he saw
and
a shadow. Just a
he
couple
saw
of-
his shadow this week. So I just want to throw that out there.
There's a lot of different stats that we could throw out there with things for the people that are superstitious and like to look at the numbers and stuff like that. But last year's Super Bowl score was 40-22 with Philadelphia beating Kansas City. Nice job, Philly. The Patriots playoff record is 40-22.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
It's just weird. Just look at that. That's a lot of playoff games. So anyway,
Punxsutawney Phil is a rabid
Patsatoni.
rodent. I didn't catch that. See, I don't have my glasses on.
That's good.
Punxsutawney Phil. Hey, I like that a lot.
Very nice.
And Burley says that's interesting. That actually is interesting. For once, somebody mark this down on the calendar.
Thank you. It happened.
February 5th, 2026, 8:26 p.m. Dan brought an interesting fact to Thursday Night Geeks. Of course,
But it
wasn't
wasn't
Star
mine.
Trek.
I read it somewhere. So
Yeah, but you brought it here and you
Okay.
understood it, which is something
Thank you.
amazing on its
well,
own.
it's Patriots, so chances are I'll grab it and
You'll what?
with a bow and grab it.
Yeah. So you'll notice tonight I introduced you as the
Yes.
Danimal or
Yes.
Danosaurus Rex, which was it?
Dinosaurus Rex. Yep.
Danosaurus Rex. I'm going to come up with a different use for your name every week now.
I
For
like
10
it.
years, it was, I refer to you as what, a Montgomery Ward underwear model.
Mhm.
Last
All
place
true.
at the spelling bee one year, I think.
True again.
For 10 years, I came up with a different description. Now I'm just going to riff off your name,
Okay.
which
like it.
I think I'm going to do.
Excellent.
Maybe that'll get us through the next 10 years.
Okay.
Hey, I don't want to fucking hear it. You chose this.
I did. I don't know why, but I did. No, you know why I did it? For all these wonderful people in the chat that are just sending messages left and right. Love it.
Dan, the Trek Geeks man. Bald Colonel Sanders.
Wow.
Dan, you have something to atone for here. Helen misses the
Uh-huh.
Farkisms.
Yes, we have not done a Farkism. I have not done a Farkism in a long
Yeah,
time.
you.
And I appreciate that, Helen, because you know what? Just doesn't. Oh, look at that, right? Because certain people on this here video screen right now don't like them.
That's not true. I said they're painful. I said you do a shitty
fun of
job
me
at them. I've never said that I hate them.
Well, you insinuate it, and it hurts my feelings.
Part of being around now for 11 years is trying to change things up every now and then. I think you'll see the Farkisms come back at some point, but
Yes,
part of it's
they will.
because we can't use the 5-year mission music on this live
Right.
stream.
Right.
And that's got nothing to do with 5-year mission. It's got everything to do with copyright law and the way YouTube works.
right.
So, if we could use them easily,
Wow.
Burley says, I do not miss them. Willow says, hashtag Farkisms
Hashtag.
forever. Blake says, hashtag bring back the Farkism.
Wow. I think
I'm
the
surprised
public's-
nobody's gone Parliament Funkadelic on this yet. We want the Fark.
Look at that. You just did a Farkism. Congratulations, buddy.
You're
And it was
welcome.
one of the best ones.
It's the best one so far. But yeah, I think that Dan doesn't know it yet, but coming up very soon, there's going to be a Stump the Geek on the live stream.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Dan,
All right.
remember the last time we did Stump the Geek Infinity? It was like a Jeopardy board. Now I'm going back a handful of years now. It will be like that
Okay.
because you really liked that experience.
I did like it. Yeah.
So when we do Stump the Geek Infinity Part 2, it will be the Jeopardy board again.
All right.
And it will
like
be the entire Thursday Night Geeks broadcast when it happens.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
been,
I'll put that in my calendar, 2028.
no, it'll be this year, baby.
Oh, okay.
It'll be before Vegas. I'll tell you that.
All right. I like that. The Vegas one was fun too. I'll never forget the captain's one. I love that. Captains in Order
Yep.
of the Enterprise. That was pretty good. I loved it. It's a good
Um,
question too.
Blake hasn't heard of your face in a bit. There was one week on Thursday Night Geeks. It was last week or the episode before at the end of last season where I dropped to your face like every 2 minutes.
Yes, you did. And they
Yeah.
were all directed at me. So
Ryan says Geek the Stump was better though. That's only because the questions are easier. As we all know, I'm not good at really deep trivia like Dan is. So that's my one stipulation is he's got to ask me like Teen Jeopardy level questions.
That's okay. And I don't mind. Sometimes it's hard to come up with those questions.
Geek the Stump in Vegas. That was supposed to happen and we never got the slot, right? No, we did do Geek the Stump in Vegas.
We did one up in the tower when we were at that crappy place. And then we did
theoretically we should have done 3. I don't remember if we got invited to do the third one because we had it ready.
Right.
We did one, just a normal one up in the Horseshoe in Vegas. Yep. We did one at the Rio, which was the one where you pulled together the captains.
Yep.
In order that the one before that was the full name of Empress Georgiou.
Oh yeah, which I didn't get. I missed.
And then I don't remember if we did a Geek the Stump. God, we're old.
Well, that is true. That is true, but we're not as old as Star Trek. So that's
we're damn close, dude. You know, it blows my mind that it's the 60th anniversary year and people are as excited for it as the 50th. Like under this sweatshirt, I have my 50th anniversary t-shirt on, right? Mm-hmm. Because I love it. I had such a great time at the 50th. Creation probably is not selling single day general admission for the weekend of the Vegas Con because of the demand, which I'm blowing for the 60th. It's not even a, it's not even a major milestone.
I can only imagine what it's going to be like because I remember the 50th. I mean, you could not walk down those halls.
Yeah. It was asses and elbows.
Yeah.
And absolutely. Speaking of asses, Dan Davidson, everybody. Wow. Wait. No, let me do that again.
Okay with it.
No, let me do that again. Because Dan Davidson, everybody.
I'm surprised you didn't do all the booing with when you announced my name like that.
Yeah, tell a joke.
Well, I tell a joke. Well, oh gosh, I don't have any off the top of my head. Let's see. Well, I'm glad you're in control of that board. Why do I not want Garcia here? Because I really do.
Jim's in the house tonight. Hi, Jim. And he goes, ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum, yes.
Very, very Data in the comic like. Jake says, I think it's because there's active Trek this year. I know Beyond hit the 50th for the 50th, but not like this. I think that's spot on.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's hard to believe it's been 10 years since Star Trek Beyond this year.
I know, it really is something. Yeah.
I said it wrong. Star Trek Beyond. There you go. Well, I think that, did you have anything else for the sort of a catch up before we start talking about episode 5?
We're all moved in. We got a lot of snow here. You got snow there.
It's gone.
Glad you went down to North Carolina. Oh, it's gone already.
It's gone. It was 50 degrees 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
It all melted.
3 inches at that big storm, so we got a lot.
Yeah, and from what I hear, you guys are going to be sub-zero. Feels like -10, -20 all weekend long.
Yep, does it?
Possibly with more snow, like 2 to 3 inches in some spots.
No. Yep. That is correct.
Dan's like, damn it. I love it.
And I don't mind. I'll be inside. Won't bother me.
Nothing bothers you. Just like water off a duck's back. I don't even know what that means. All right. We're going to take a quick FanSets break and we're going to come right back to talk about some amazing pins, yo. Stay right there. Look how flawless this works when I'm doing this. This is amazing. Garcia does it better, but I'm amazed that I'm getting through this right now. But Dan, in their 10th anniversary year, we have to thank FanSets for being the presenting sponsor of Trek Geeks and Thursday Night Geeks and really the entire Trek Geeks network. Nobody does it better than they do, and we are so grateful for them to be on board with us for another year.
Yeah, wouldn't have anybody else. We love them so much. Another week, another moment, like you said, to thank the best team in the business. We've talked about it before. They have over 500 officially licensed Star Trek pins. That's the key. They're officially licensed. They release new stuff every month. Hey, look at that. It's a new month. Happy February, everybody. So right now, over at fansets.com, you can go over there and check out the latest Micro Crew character, which is now available. It's the amazing Quark, as seen in Lower Decks, and also available from the universe of Trek, representing Strange New Worlds.
Hold on, I'm
is
catching up.
beautiful.
I'm catching up.
Sorry about that. I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm reading my copy. Available right now is from Strange New Worlds, the beautiful rendition of La'an Noonien Sung, Glitter, Glitter, Glitter is all I have to say about that wonderful one.
Sing.
What did I say? Sung? Oh,
Sung.
sorry. Yeah. What was I saying? I must have typed it wrong. Hey, look at that.
Reminds me of that Carpenter song. Sing, sing a song.
Sing a song. Yes. Very nice. And wow, now I don't even know where I was. Okay. And finally, one new Delta and one new reminder for everybody with regards to Deltas. From the animated series, we have the bright yellow and awesome to wear Science Division Delta. As always, it's available in pin or magnet form. And don't forget to head on over to FanSets and grab your very special Star Trek 60th anniversary celebration Delta. It's also available in pin and magnet form, and it is going to sell out. So you'll want to get that as soon as you can. Every pin from FanSets is beautiful, of the highest quality, and you can check out their entire inventory pins right over there at fansets.com, my friend.
You really can. Of course, Dan, you know what happens now. This is the part where I tell you, get all those pins, get the Quark, get the La'an Noonien Sing, get the animated series Delta, get the 60th anniversary Delta, put those all in your cart, get some accessories, get some other stuff. And then at checkout, use the special discount code word Trek Geeks. That's Trek Geeks all together, no spaces, all capital letters, for 10% off your entire order at fansets.com. It doesn't matter if you order Star Trek stuff or not. You could order some of their other pins from other properties and still get that same 10% off, Dan. So do it. Get it in. Get those pins. Get them in your hot little hands and get ready to wear them to Vegas, baby.
Love it. FanSets. Our pins have character, and we thank our friends at FanSets for being the presenting sponsor of Thursday Night Geeks.
Dan, here we are on the bridge of the Athena, kind of in a way, to talk about our reactions to the 5th episode of Starfleet Academy's first season. And I call it Sam because I can't remember the big word, and I can't remember the big word. Before we dive in, we did get a super chat from Lore Reloaded, and I want to thank Lore very much. Just joined. This episode was the first I couldn't pull anything from it that I actually liked. Also making Cisco a prophet similar to the real world allusions, not meant to do so or not, was a choice. Interesting. Yeah. First, thank you for the comment. Thank you for the super chat. I actually was worried I might not glean anything from this episode that I truly liked. But I found out that I really did. I think if you take the A plot and the B plot separately, well, let me ask you this, because I know what your answer is, Dan. Dan, what did you think of the B plot in this episode?
I did not care for the B plot. I thought I don't know if they were trying to lessen the possible emotional punching bag that the A plot was going to be, which I think for a lot of people was, but not necessarily in a bad way. And I think the B plot just didn't work. I didn't care for it too much. I thought that the attempts at humor were way too forced, especially during the meal. And I don't want to say it took away anything from me because of what happened on the other side of this episode, but I just didn't think it was the right place for it.
Before we go any further, and I forgot to do this coming out of the break, let me sound spoiler alert to all decks. If you're still here, you're doing it at your own risk. We love you, but if you haven't seen the episode at this point, it's on you because spoilers throughout. I thought that B plot was kind of garbage. It was completely uninteresting, especially since there was no real decent payoff at the end.
Right.
It almost seemed like it was filler for the Sam journey and the Cisco moments. And that was my biggest problem with it. I thought that there was a lot to pull from the Sam journey as the emissary. I thought that actually was pretty rich with stuff. And to Laura's point, I don't think there's any way to avoid making Cisco a prophet because he is one. He's one of the wormhole aliens, which the Bajorans revere as prophets. That's the part he plays, whether we like it or not. So I think the prophets have always held some kind of allusion or allegory to modern day prophets. Some could say that, whether, they're trying to emulate a particular religion is debatable, but I think that's the core tenet of just about every religion out there, is that there is one voice or a few voices that sort of speak for God, if you will. So I can appreciate that that's the way you felt about it, Lore. I rather liked it out of pure nostalgia. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go back to the B plot for just a second. Do me a favor and look through the list, Bill, and pull up Ryan's comment from just a couple minutes ago, because it's something that we've talked about a little bit. The B plot, first of all, that fish in the middle of the table, the 840 comment from Ryan.
Thank you.
The fish in the middle of the table was just distracting to me, for one thing, because it just looked, it looked just so ridiculously odd, even though it's real. Jet, I'm trying to say this in a way that's not gonna sound like I'm insulting them, because I'm not trying to. Yeah, Jet was the best part of that dinner. She was the actual, and as Ryan's saying, she was the only actual funny part. I see what you're saying. I personally don't agree with it, because I thought that everything that was going on in that scene was such a force at attempts of humor that they fell flat for me on just about every one of them. And my concern with the character of Jet, we've talked about how she really is doing great in these first few episodes of Starfleet Academy. It seems like it's a great fit for this character. The last couple of episodes, I felt that she's only in scenes where she's wisecracking or trying to make a joke, because in real life, Tig is a comedian. And I hope I hope they're not going to force her into that role every time she's in a scene. So that's my take on that part of it.
Yeah, I think I agree. I like, Reno on this series more than I liked Reno on Discovery. I thought that Reno was one person too many, and, sought to find ways to sort of just annoy people. Whereas in here, the desire to annoy students, I think, is real. I can get behind that. But Reno's also imparting wisdom. And I think doing a fairly good job of it, as all the instructors are. But, I do think that B plot was missing something, and it was a point.
Yeah.
Brad says the B plot just felt to the show like the rest of the cast doing something on Sam's quest. Yeah. And I felt like it was pointless and really didn't matter a lot. Ross says the B plot really needed Thok in that dinner scene. That might have actually been really decent. That could have been really good. Because we could have learned more about Thok and what Thok eats. Does Thok eat? I don't know. And Jake says everything the Doctor did in this episode seemed to be formed from his unresolved trauma of losing his Voyager and Protostar. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I thought that they could have really unpacked some of that, or maybe just save that for a different episode, honestly.
That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Yes.
I think that while that would have been effective and that would have been good, I think it would have been a little too much on the Cisco episode.
Yes. And I agree that I don't think they would have been showing they kind of focused in a way on they have been focusing on some of his reactions when he's talking about various different people, and especially when talking about things in this episode. So I have a feeling that they're doing that for a reason, and maybe we'll see it in the last half of the season once it airs.
We were talking about this before we went live tonight. There's only 5 episodes left in the season, which means there's 5 chances to see Tilly for a moment.
Yeah.
Because we know she's not in the season much.
Yep.
I imagine it's probably a brief appearance. But we're halfway through the season at this point, just as they're halfway through the semester. So here's hoping.
Yeah.
I hope it's a moment that is worth bringing that character in. So I want to talk a little bit about Sirach Lofton being back as Jake Sisko. I didn't know I needed this.
Yeah.
You know what? Sirach was wonderful. Sirach was probably the best he's been. And I think some of that has to do with time. I think some of that has to do with maturity. But his performance as Jake in this episode was it was perfection. It was what I would hope Jake would be at, and he kind of brought that Jake to life, who was very different.
What a surprise it was too. I mean, I think a very strange sound came out of my mouth when Sue and I were watching it in downstairs, and I just kind of like bellowed. It was so incredible. There were so many great pull at your heart, punch you in the stomach scenes in this episode. But yeah, Jake was right there, and the way that he talked about his dad, especially in the second scene that he was in, where they were sitting when after she got the book and she opened it and then was kind of talking to him, and he was really giving some good details about stuff in his life. It was really great to hear him say that. It was really great to hear Jake's voice talking about things like that. I am so happy that Sirach got to do this also. I'm sure he was thrilled to have been involved with it. Yeah, what a great I mean, everything from the beginning of this episode, when we knew it was going to start focusing in on what's going on with, or what happened with Deep Space Nine and with Ben, was really made it special right from the get-go. I will say, getting to that part, it's interesting understanding what race of beings created Sam and everything. That part was kind of a little odd for me. But when it started focusing in on the stuff about Sisko and being the emissary and her journey along with his, it was awesome. And of course, nothing prepared me for some of the things that happened at the end.
I've seen it compared to Mork from Ork talking to Orson.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I saw it in a Facebook group, and Aaron Harvey also hit me with that today, which I thought was pretty funny, but I never thought of it that way. A couple of comments. Helen says, we haven't seen Paul Giamatti much either. Ross says, I was hoping Tilly would be in there more. I think everybody was, but early, before the season started, when they said she was not going to be a series regular, I think that a lot of people were sort of taken aback by that. I can believe that Mary Weissman is done with Star Trek and Star Trek is done with Mary Weissman for whatever reason. Maybe she'll be back in season 2. I hope she's back in season 2, and I hope that this is not the last we see of Tilly. But I would love to see more, simply just because I love the character.
Yeah.
And of course, Brad says it really brought warmth to my heart to see him as Jake again. You know what? That's really what it was for me too. I was like, oh, I felt so good for Sirach, because obviously we know Sirach, from seeing him at conventions all the time and stuff, and from Trek Talks, and it was incredibly special. You
know what I loved about it? We saw Jake grow up on the show from a young kid to a young man. Then we got to see a future version of him played by a different character. Of course, Tony was fantastic in The Visitor. But in this episode, we saw Jake as a grown man who, obviously, if you look at some of the stuff in that room, he had kids. So he was a father also. And I think he talked about that a little bit. It was real. It's kind of like Nog. We've gotten to see the entire length of Jake, pretty much from young kid to grown adult, with this special guest appearance of his. And I'm so, like I said before, I'm so happy for Sirach.
Well, and the thing that I really like is that we find out that Jake is all right.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what Deep Space Nine fans would hope would be the case. Mm-hmm. Because, in The Visitor, the Jake character says, the worst thing that happened to me, that could happen to me did. I lost my father. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But to know that at the end of Deep Space Nine, he loses his father, essentially, and eventually goes on to be okay, I think is, I, I, I think it's the story we all needed, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does. It's interesting because when they started focusing on this and the mystery of what happened to Ben, um, I'm like, I don't want to know. I was kind of like, I don't want any finality to that. I like where it is, where he is in the wormhole and he's learning how to be a prophet and this, that, and the other thing. And now I've talked about in the past the books. He does come out of the wormhole and is with Cassidy, and they have a daughter. I believe her name is Rebecca, and all kinds of stuff. But in television Deep Space Nine, I was kind of glad that they didn't give it any specific finality.
That's fair. That's fair. I like that it's as open ended as it is. A real know it all. That's the handle. I didn't say that. Says, oh my God, Sirach landed for me too, but I think that's because he comes with emotional connection for me. I didn't feel as if Sam deserved that though. I don't know if I agree with Sam not deserving it because, I mean, Sam's still trying to find her way and she's doing it, being less than a year old technically, and it's Starfleet Academy. So I think that as she tries to find her way as the emissary of her people, there's comfort in the words from Jake and getting to know Benjamin a little bit through Jake. That's kind of how I feel. What do you think, Dan?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I can see what he's saying.
Yeah, I can.
This Jake doesn't know Sam from a hole in the wall, and
he's a hologram.
He's well, I understand that, but what I mean is he doesn't know who Sam is, but he's pouring his heart out to her. Does that just show how proud Jake is of his dad and what it was like to have him as his father and all that? I don't know, but I did like how he helped Sam in the way that Sam was struggling with this whole emissary thing.
Yeah.
I want to pivot a little bit. I just want to talk about like my rankings for the biggest things of the episode and where they were in terms of like, oh my God moments. We talked about one already, and that's Jake. I'm going to put the Jake moment as probably number 2 on how much it affected me. And I'm going to probably have 4 of them in my list. Where would you rank Jake for it? For yours,
probably 2.
If you want to rank anything, yeah.
I think we all know what the number 1 is.
Yeah.
And that's my number 1.
Actually, I'm going to bump it down to 3 because I'm going to count what we're talking about probably into 2 different things. So, one of the things that I was very happy to see was Tawny Newsome show up. Did not expect to see her in this episode. Did not expect to see her as a Cardassian. And it's funny, when I first saw her on screen, I'm like, God, she looks familiar. It took about a half a second as soon as she opened her mouth and talked. I was like, oh my God, that's Tawny. And then at the very end, to find out that she is Dax was just another great moment. And she did a great job bringing Dax qualities to the conversation at that point when it was revealed, all the different things that she knew about Ben and stuff. I thought that was really, really great.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I want to go back to this comment after I say what I'm going to say. I liked the fact that there was that tie-in. I like the fact that this Dax has tangent. Have you noticed that just about every alien species on the staff is a biracial species? That's not a criticism.
Yeah.
I love that fact. We've got half Cardassian, half Trill. We've got a whole bunch of other species. So I think it's fantastic. I actually liked this reveal because you didn't know it until the end, and I don't necessarily think it was mishandled with the Dax reveal. I thought the spots could have been more prominent.
Yes.
And my screener copy, it was that part seemed a little dark, so I have to go back and watch the broadcast version, even though there's no broadcast. I think that I thought it was handled super well. Plus, I love that Tawny got to play that part. So Tawny is now in canon as a Dax, which I really love. I think that it's how do you know so much about this? It's like, well, let me tell you, that was a little fudged, but it didn't take away from the moment for me.
No, it really didn't, and it's great to know that Dax has survived that long because the Symbionts don't always live. So it was good to see that they were that the Symbiont is in the future. But of course, as we get to it, I'm just kind of reading what Ross is saying here.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read it on screen.
Oh, okay, sure.
For the audio version. From everything I've read about the Symbiont only lives 500 years, with some living as long as 800. By the date of STA, Dax would have been 1173 years old as the Symbiont was born in 2018. I don't know that we actually get the 2018 date on screen, but your point is well taken.
Yeah.
As with everything else, it's been 800 years since the end of Deep Space Nine. I'm sure that they've found a way to prolong the lives of the symbiont, or maybe the symbionts can procreate somehow, or maybe they can go through some kind of mitosis to spawn another Dax as they're coming to the end of their life. We don't know, but I think it's all. I think it's all good. I don't think it's a huge deal.
Yeah, yeah. So that was probably of 4 or 5. I probably, even though it was still amazing, I probably put that at the bottom of the list. It was great to see. Oh my God, Dax is there, and she's going to be able to help Sam get talk about this and everything. Cisco's voice, man. When she
it's the
was
chef's kiss on the episode. It
oh
really
my
is.
God, when she's sitting on the steps, I'm gonna start crying right now just thinking about it. I was trying to hold it in on the couch with my wife because I didn't want to look like a fool, but I think I look more like a fool because I was trying to hold it in. Hearing his voice brought back so many emotions for me. I just could not keep it in, but that wasn't the worst of it. The karate chop right to the nuts was seeing "Thank You, Avery" come up on screen as it faded out. That was it. That's when I completely opened up. I was bawling. I just thought that was what an incredible way to sign the autograph on this love letter to what is our favorite series. I couldn't believe it. And then to hear the Deep Space Nine music during the credits was just.
I love that they essentially had to license that track because it's a track on an album that Avery put out. They got his permission, and I know Avery got to speak to Carice Brooks, who plays Sam, which was amazing. Screen Rant did a whole kind of behind the scenes article on it, in an interview with both with Tawny and Sirach. So I mean, I think it's great. And the best part is, Jake just popped this comment up as I was thinking about this. Nobody's heard this album. Yeah. It's from 2006, so it's 20 years old, which is why his voice, the baritone, sounds just as rich as it did in Deep Space Nine. The fact that now those words are attributed to Benjamin Sisko, I think, is the greatest piece of love and the greatest through line. And let's be honest, the only person on earth who could have made this happen was Sirach Lofton. And I will love him forever, not just for his portrayal of Jake, but for helping to make this happen as much as he did.
It was so incredible. I mean, I'm breaking up now. We've talked about how Deep Space Nine, it wasn't Deep Space Nine, I wouldn't be here. And it's been off the air for so many years. To see how that episode that was just aired today, I saw it last week. It's just amazing. It was the tears I did not know I needed in Star Trek right now, to see this wonderful tribute to that show that got so much of a bad rap at the beginning because it was stationary and it was dark and it was anti-Trek and stuff like that. And it's our favorite series. And obviously the writers love the series too, and what they did, I am very thankful for.
It still gets a bad rap from some fans, and I don't understand it, but if I've learned anything from Starfleet Academy, either from the review bombs of people purposefully giving it a negative review on Rotten Tomatoes when they haven't seen it, or from the comments in groups, is that there's just a loud minority of Trekkies out there that just want to shit on everything. Because it's got Alex Kurtzman's name on it. Yeah. Me, I was really skeptical about Starfleet Academy before it started. I have been won over. They're doing the show the right way with an amazing cast, with solid writing. There are some elements I would change, but that's true of every single Trek. It's not unique to
Absolutely.
Starfleet
Yep.
Academy.
Absolutely.
This show is the Trek that we need right now. Starfleet Academy is about the future. It's about hope for the future. It's about rebuilding, after not being on Earth for 100 years. It's about reincorporating. I think those are many things our country itself is going to have to go through in the future.
Yeah.
And so I think it gives us a real perspective. I think it really gives us a fresh chance to see possibly the next great crew somewhere down the road when they first got their start. And I think that's special.
Yep. Yeah. You know me, I was not happy about it at all. I had
No.
no desire to watch it. I didn't care about the trailers. And when I saw the trailer, I didn't care for it. Especially when we found out it was going to take place in the Discovery timeline. I'm like, this is going to be awful. I absolutely love this show. And I'm not a CBS shill or whatever the frig they used to call it when, we just be kissing their ass all the time. No, I love this show. I think they are doing a fantastic job with it. And I'm going to give some advice to all the people out there, like you say, these Star Trek fans that are shitting all over it all the time. Here's some advice. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
And quit bugging us with your crap that I got to step back. We have talked about everybody's opinion everybody's fandom is their own fandom, but you don't need to purposely say some of the things that we've seen out there for it. We get it. You don't like Kurtzman. That doesn't mean you don't have to like what they are trying to do in the show with every word what you just said a minute ago about hope.
People could just scroll past, but they don't. They want to take the opportunity to shit on somebody else's joy. And that I think is really just emblematic of society. If it weren't for social media, if it weren't for Trek Geeks, I probably wouldn't be on social media anymore.
Right.
I'd find a way to stay in touch with those friends, whether it's starting a different Discord server or, whatever. But, I see some of these comments and I just shake my head, but I'm glad that they're dwarfed by the overwhelmingly positive comments I see from Trekkies, of all stripes, of all ages. Oh, wait, we got a emergency break here. We still have not scared Grand Love away. Grand Love is back. Hello, Grand Love. And that's because love isn't the name. I got to send love out. So we're so glad you're here. These people could just scroll on by and take their negativity somewhere else. But you know what? I'm going to talk about how great Starfleet Academy is as much as I can, because it's that good. I was worried they'd screw it up, and they didn't. Yep. They really stuck the landing on this one. All the judges are giving them 10s all around.
Yeah, and it's well deserved, and I can't wait to see what the remaining 5 episodes has in store for us. Well, the remaining 4, I should say, for everybody else, because we've seen 6.
We've seen 6. Y'all not ready.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're not ready.
No, we can't say anything else.
Nope.
We can say
that's all I'm going to say.
The only thing I'm going to say is, Helen, reread your comment after tomorrow or after next week.
Next week. Dan, I think we'll be back next Thursday.
Okay.
Let's plan on it.
Right.
We'll do next Thursday. We don't have a topic yet. I'm going to tell Dan to try to get a guest and maybe surprise me, but we'll see.
I did try last time, but I never got a response. So
you did. One more comment, and then we'll start wrapping it up. I agree with Burley. I wish we could have more than 10 episodes of the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is now. Every series is like this now, or less.
Less. Yeah. Like season 5 of Strange New Worlds, when that happens in 2027. I don't know. Well, Dan.
Yes, sir.
What do you say we get the flock out of here and we'll live to do it another week. So
sounds good.
I'll let you know how my second interview for that job goes tomorrow. But until then, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. It's you help make our Thursday night special, and we're so psyched that y'all are here. It wouldn't be Thursday night without you, and we'll be back to do it again next week. So everybody, live long and prosper.
Coconut.
Oh, it's about time. I'm sitting here wondering, what the hell are you doing? I mean.